Hi, so as far as the experience with trauma at the school that I'm at, I haven't really had a lot. So there's one little boy that I know whose parents are going through a divorce, but I haven't really seen that affect him very much because um, he's very like confident and he has very high self-esteem already. So thankfully, I don't think that that's affecting him, especially in kindergarten where I feel like it could affect him a lot. I feel like he's doing a very good job at not letting that affect him. The only place where I've seen that come into play is like where he goes after school. That depends on whether he's going to mom's or dad's, and that can get kind of tricky. But thankfully, he has an older sister who's at the school also, and she really takes care of him and makes sure that they're going to the right place. And then when it comes to conferences, something had came up where I know the teacher had mentioned that last year when everything was just starting to take place, they couldn't even be in the same room together. But this year, they want to do like their conferences together, and the parents are working through that. So I think that that's really helping to make this student's experience less traumatic for him. When it comes to training on trauma for the school and district, we really haven't received a whole lot, or at least I haven't yet. Something that they have done is just talked about how much we should be in communication with the parents. Like we always want to be emailing the parents or calling the parents and making sure that we know what's going on at home and in the student's home life so that we can do our best to support the student with whatever it is that they may need help with. Um, and that related to the information given in this module because you need to know about the children's and students' past experiences so that you can make sure that you're not triggering any emotions or anything that go along with whatever trauma they have experienced in the past. And that kind of goes along with the next point about the module and the Sanford module, how they complemented each other. And the one thing that really stuck out to me, I think, was the behavior that can come out of it because in the Sanford one, it talked about different scenarios and the way that the teachers handled them. And that could be like how the scenarios affected the students in the classrooms, like the student who had the male teacher, because of what had happened with her uncle, therefore she had a hard time making eye contact and being in the same room as her male teacher. And I think that has to go along with, in the module that we had, it talked a lot about how people can have like defiances for something based off of trauma that has happened to them. And I think that's just the main one that sticks out to me is we don't always think of the behaviors and the repercussions that come with the traumatic events because we haven't experienced them. So we don't know how the students will feel because of that certain event in their life. So I think that's important to remember is just making sure to talk to the students and get their side of the story and always asking the students, how can I help you? How can I make this more beneficial for you and feel like a safe environment? Because that's really important is that the students feel safe in the classroom all the time. As far as questions that I saw about trauma and classroom management, so one that goes with the trauma, I guess, is like, how do you make sure that the students feel safe, but making sure that they're still getting their education? Because I know how that in the modules, it kind of had talked about like how you want to keep the students in the classroom as much as possible, but what if it's like a situation where they really should be taken out? I'm having a hard time finding that balance. And then for classroom management, the students are still, in my kindergarten class at least, they're still having a hard time like putting things together where they know like I need to be quiet, but they're just still not doing it. Like it's October, middle of October already, and we're still reminding the kindergarteners, you have to be quiet, you have to be quiet, and you have to respect your specials teacher. That's the main one is they're having a hard time when they go to specials. So, yeah.